Okay, not that this may come as a surprise to most people that know me. I did something stupid. Yet again. I did not go down yesterday after I put together the solar oven and moved some furniture around on the porch underneath my carport that I built down there at the shop trailer. I was going to go yesterday and work on my motorcycle. It's just a bracket to come off. I'll show you. But I never did get over there to it. It was late in the day, and I'm still recovering from the other day when I was laying on the concrete. And so this morning, in preparation for knowing I was going to get on the ground and be rolling around on the concrete up underneath my motorcycle, I took another half of a pain pill. I don't ever take a whole one because I am so, most people aren't affected by pain meds like I am, and it does not take very much at all to make me stupid and goofy. So I took a half pain pill this morning, and I didn't know it, but this was open, and I had a half a pain pill in here. And what I usually do is I open these, and then I toss it back in my mouth, and a half a pain pill fell out of this day onto my shirt. And when I saw it on my shirt, I just suspected that it was the half a pain pill for the day I intended to take. So I took it, and now I'm going to be slurring my words and tripping over my own feet. So if I get down there and I'm not making any sense, that's why. So here's the bracket. And I figured out where it mounts, how it mounts, and it's kind of silly, but it mounts to two holes underneath the transmission, and the other end bolts to the exhaust. And what had happened was two of the bolts on the transmission disappeared. And over time, who knows how long it's been disappeared. Evidently quite a while, because the underneath of the engine is covered in oil. Now, that don't mean a lot, because it don't take but a teaspoon of oil, looks like a gallon, when it's all over something. So I'm gonna get the two bolts. Oh, and here's another thing. The third bolt, the one that I was able to, and this little burn mark there, that happened when I was trying to get the one remaining bolt off, the one that let this bracket drag on the ground. And I had to reach up in behind the hot exhaust pipe to get the bolt, and I bumped that a couple of times, so I blistered my skin. So anyway, I saved that nut. It was a captured nut, basically. Not captured, but it's a nut that slides into a slot, and it's held there because you have to be able to adjust it in and out a little bit. And anyway, that nut and the bolt I put inside my tool bag, and put my tool bag back inside the what do you call it? Luggage carrier? What do you call it? The saddlebag. And I have no idea how, but that nut and bolt is nowhere in my tool bag. So I need that nut and bolt, and the two nuts. It's bolts. It's hex head bolts that hold the bracket into the transmission, and there are a couple of bolts on the very bottom of the transmission, the most important ones, that fell out. So that's why I've got oil everywhere, because over time it's, as the engine heats up, I'm sure there's some flexing going on there, and I'm sure it's just a drip at a time, and I have no way of knowing how long these bolts have been backed out of there, gone, and just held on by the bolt on the exhaust end of it. So I need 3 bolts. That's what I'm getting at, and that's where I'm headed now. Harley, I probably don't have the nut that holds what I'm calling a captured nut. I'm only calling it that because when you unthread the bolt, you don't need to put a wrench on it because of the slot that it slides in. So I'm calling it a captured nut. It may have another name, but that's what I'm going after. But that little part that slides in, the captured nut portion of it, that doesn't seem like it would be a very common thing. So they may have to order me that, and I don't know. In the meantime, I can put the 2 bolts back in the transmission and tighten that back down. And I planned on putting some blue Loctite on it, but I may not put any Loctite on it until I get all the nuts and bolts that I need. So that's where we're at. And there's a Harley dealer at this next exit. Well, turns out this is not a Harley part. It's an aftermarket. This is, I should have realized that, this is an aftermarket exhaust. It's a Vance & Hines head pipe with Reinhardt mufflers. And the transmission bolts are a Harley part, but the bolt that I lost is a Vance & Hines part, and I'm just gonna have to make my own. It won't be a problem. I can do it. But that's the bolt. That's 2 of them. I got 2 of them, and one of them dropped down between the seat and the console. God, I tell you, I'm having one of them days. So now I gotta figure out a way to get my hands up under there and drag that bolt back out. I was just gonna mention that you know, the speed limit is 70 on this road, and 70, my God, you just would not believe the speed people are passing me at. I'm talking 85 and 90, and I was thinking, how can people drive so freaking fast and afford tickets? And then I was thinking, well, crap, this is Shreveport. Shreveport is down like by at least a third of its force. And they have so much bad stuff going on in Shreveport right now that I bet you getting up here and shooting radar on the interstate is the last thing on their mind. They've got so much crime going on. And yeah, that's probably what it is. People have just gotten so used to not seeing speed cops on the highway anymore because they're working so understaffed. And which started when all the Democrats started yelling for defund the police. Well, guess what? They defunded the police, and you know what happened next. The very next day, crime doubled and tripled and quadrupled. And anyway, so now the defund the police people are all trying to blame the police for the increase in crime. It just, I tell you. If it wasn't true. And this is exactly how things end up taking me 2 times longer than a simple little project should. I need a chair over here to help me get up and help me get down. Let me show you. You know, I have been smelling oil. All right, let me, can you see all that oil? All that oil has dripped from here. That is the transmission there. And all that oil has been dripping on the muffler, the exhaust pipe, which is right here. And I thought it was, see, these Harleys have the top of the head, right, are vented, and they have tubes that come into the back of the breather, and the mist, the vapor that comes off the top of the head from the oil, they feed back into the breather, and what it was doing was dripping down here instead of getting sucked back into the breather, which is, from what I'm reading, it's a all of these Harleys do it, so there's no getting around it. So that's what I thought I was smelling, was that. But it's not. What I've been smelling is this slow little drip of transmission. It's crankcase oil. I mean, it's the same oil. So, now they did not have
the sliding the bolt that goes, the nut that goes in here, I did not have. But I found out what bolt it is, and I cut one to length. So what I'm going to do is just slide this nut in there, in here, and try to get the bolt to catch it through the bracket. And then I'll have to poke a screwdriver in there to hold it to keep it from turning. So that's the first thing. And then I've got these bolts. I'm sorry I'm moving, but I'm doing this while laying down. These two bolts go in the transmission side, right there where them two bolts are missing. And I've got blue Loctite here that I'm going to put on all of it. So first I'm going to do a dry run to see just how difficult it's going to be to get that nut up in there and hold it where I can catch it with that bolt through the bracket. And I may even get me a pair of needle nose and see if I can hold it with some needle nose. And if I can, I'll take it back apart, put a whole bunch of blue Loctite on there, tighten it down, not tight, but snug, where I can wiggle that bracket up and catch these two bolts here, which I will also put. Now I have taken some carburetor cleaner and sprayed it in them holes and blew it out with my air gun, so they ought to be good and dry and oil free by now. So I put some blue Loctite on that, suck it down as tight as I can, and then do this. So that's the plan. Let me get going on that.
Well, this has turned out to be a crap day. So there's no without the right part, there's just no getting in there. That's why they had this, what do they call it here? It's number 24. I don't have my glasses on. Okay, dog bone nut plate. You can't get nothing in there. You can barely get a finger up in there to slide this dog bone nut plate. So the idea of holding it with a nut is not. It is. I'm sure it's possible, and I could make my own if I welded it on a small piece of flat stock, but I'm calling the company and just ordering that little piece. I'm sure I can order it. Plus it's a bolt with a locking head on it. So anyway, I call them. I wait about 15 minutes online on the hold, right? Third caller in line. Your wait time is approximately 15 minutes. And then second caller in line. Your wait time is approximately 8 minutes. First caller in line. Your wait time's approximately 2 minutes. And then somebody answers the phone and it says, technical service is not available at this time. Please leave a message and call back. Some bitches. So I'm going to go get online and see if there's a way I can order the part online without any human interaction. Yep, complete waste of a day. A total complete waste from morning till afternoon. Now it's time to go feed the dogs, which he has so eloquently reminded me about. And that's it for my day. I'll try again tomorrow. Okay. So, I called and called. Oh, let me check my, yeah, still no answer. This was, let's see, 15:32. So, exactly 30 minutes ago, I tried starting a conversation. And no answer. And I wrote, hello. So we'll just X that out. So anyway, I called again and I got somebody. This time I only waited on hold for 22 minutes, but it was worth the wait. He said, I have those two parts right here in my junk drawer. He said, I will ship these to you, no charge. So wasn't that nice? So it was these two parts, number 24, 25. So, let's see, what is today? Tuesday? Who knows? Friday? I doubt I'll get them Friday. No. If it hits the mail Wednesday, Thursday, nah, no way. So it'll be next week. So no writing for me this weekend. Okay. Yeah, I had my wallet ready to pay at least for shipping. I kind of thought, well, maybe they won't charge me for the parts, or probably 20 cents. But they didn't charge me for shipping or parts, so that was pretty cool. Okay, so I'll finish this little project when I get that part, and I won't upload this until I get the part. So you may not see this for several days. Have a good one. See you soon, or not so soon. Here is how weird YouTube is. I don't know if you'll be able to read this. This is Steve's comment. There's nothing at all that could be at all misconstrued. There's no bad words. There's nothing that could possibly give YouTube any idea that this was a comment that, but where it is, it's in my held for review. Why? And then some comments that make it through their bot, their algorithm, are filthy, disgusting comments. And fortunately, all comments, I have access to immediately. But except the ones that go for held for review. They don't tell me that I've had a comment that goes to the held for review. And these are the kind of comments they send there. Absolutely nothing wrong with this comment. I mean, I cannot figure out, there's nothing in here. Now, I did figure out this, that you see the space between, on the second line down, job, the end of the sentence, job, and then a period. Well, there's a space between the period and the next word, which is may. The word may be a little slower. And if you don't leave that space, YouTube interprets it as a web address, and they'll send it to the held for review. So there's just no figuring out this nonsense. They have gotten just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.